And welcome back to the most special episode of Monday Morning Encouragement yet. The big announcement, let's get into it. So I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for this episode for a really long time because it's been something that's been in the works ever since like November of 2018. And so I told you for like the last kind of like month and a half, I've been teasing out that number one, book is coming out obviously this month, but as you might know, there's not that many days left. So the exact whereabouts I told you in last week's Monday Morning Encouragement, but I was gonna tell you this week when it's coming out. And so without making you wait any longer, without me being able to hold it in any longer, it is coming out officially this Friday, should probably know this day by heart, January the 31st. And so let's get into what the book is about and what you can expect. So the first detail besides the release date is, of course, the title of the book. It is called Rise, a 30-day devotional on getting back up again. Now, the origins of how this book came about to be was actually in November of 2018. I was on sabbatical, a gift given to me by my church for a week, and there was kind of this charge to do a passion project. Now, I'd always thought about writing something and hoping that it would be helpful. I'm not necessarily a very good writer naturally, but I thought, hey, I'll give this a shot. And what ended up coming out of that week was like a week straight of sitting in the Starbucks over in E-Town, just like typing away, and this stuff just kind of came out of me. How the flow of the book works is it deals with everything from maybe seasons of depression to feelings of anxiety to ways that we can begin to cope with them, all the way from the spiritual to the physical to the emotional to the communal, all these kind of different aspects. I basically think of it in my mind as like if I were looking at a diamond, just continuing to rotate it and look at it from all these different angles to get the best maybe way to think about it and then to get through it. And so that being said, this book is really meant for anyone who has been knocked down and just needs some help getting back up. It's approachable, it's not academic, it is super practical, it is thoughtful, I think at least, and ultimately I wanted to give the reader, you hopefully, just a little bit of like, you can go do this today type of thing to begin to pull out of those types of seasons whenever they happen. That being said, that is not all the good news though. The other good news is then what is the price, right? So like that's the next detail. The price is, it's free. So the way you can get this book is on Amazon. It's going to be available for digital download in the Kindle format, or if you'd rather read it as a PDF, you can find it on my website, calebphelps.me. You'll see instructions there. And so it's completely free. I didn't want to charge anything for this simply because I just felt like, man, this is my first attempt at writing. I just wanted to get it out there. I didn't want to go through a publisher or any means like that. I just wanted to put the resource out there. But as much as this is already sounding like an infomercial, that's not all. The next thing is that there's also going to be an audio format of it. It's going to be available in like an audio book. It's going to be available to where you can listen to it on Audible, Amazon's deal, and it's also going to be free. And so that's something I just wanted to make available to you, but you might not use Audible and you'd rather listen to it or download it onto your device another way. So again, you can find that on calebphelps.me, my website, where I've put some things. Again though, and I promise I hope this is at least the last thing. The last thing is, actually it's not the last thing, but the next to the last thing is there's another thing, and it's gonna be, I've got a 30-day video series that's rolling out that's going to go along with every chapter of the book, because I thought it might be helpful if you wanna hear a little bit more on what I mean by that particular day's tactic for kind of working through some things that you might be going through. So you'll also be able to find that on calebphelps.me. I promise. I think this is actually the last thing. The last thing is, of course, it's going to release on Friday, but starting on Monday, I'll be going through on, especially on my Instagram, at Caleb_Phelps, just kind of a post a day, just guiding along, just kind of giving a challenge, giving a thought for the day that's going to go along with all that. So my hope is, and maybe I'll do it here on Facebook too, I'm going to get a group of people together sometime between Friday and Monday, digitally, of course, not physically, And we're just gonna go through it together, and I'm gonna share thoughts from that day and all those different types of things, like a communal thing, like we're doing this project together. If maybe you're kind of going through a season where you're feeling down and you're feeling out, you may be feeling anxious, maybe feeling depressed, and we're gonna go through this 30-day season together, starting next Monday, right in the beginning of February, in this kind of weird winter cold season. We're gonna do this together. The reality is, guys, I know this video's already been too long. I wanted to put a resource in your hands that delivered some of the tools that I've learned the hard way of how to get through those seasons where it might feel a little too heavy, and for you to know ultimately that you're not alone, that God is with you in these seasons, but also God has given us the gift of having each other to encourage one another in these seasons, that there's all kinds of different tactics we can take to approach these hard seasons well. And so with that, that is my hope and my dream that this book would provide for you. Rise, a 30-day devotional on getting back up again, that it would put tools in your tool belt for how to handle those seasons that I have struggled through myself, and something that I've learned just from personal experience. So without any further ado, I cannot wait until Friday. I hope that this book blesses you in the way that it blessed me to write it and then to think about it for the last year. And man, I just hope that you find it helpful. Guys, I love you, and we'll see you next week.